Hey there, team. Welcome to a little scenario battle. This is from a little while ago, but something that I quite often like to do is go through a few of our older scenarios after they've been perfected, of course, and try and sort of have a crack at some of the other ones that were maybe not perfectly balanced. Now, of course, I wouldn't do this if it wasn't a fun battle, but just so you guys know right from the start, it's maybe not going to be absolutely as close as some of the others. I still think there's a lot of very interesting stuff. It's still very skilled players engaging in this fight, so you're hopefully going to see us try our very best to battle out, and it was a very enjoyable part of either way. So just, but I want to give that warning out from the start that this was a scenario that has been worked on. I'm pretty damn sure that there is I might link it in the description. There's one that I unfortunately wasn't part of. I couldn't be free, but a few little touch-ups made it a lot closer. And that battle is up on Umad's channel, so I might pop that into the description. But I thought it's been a little while. I'll do this one now. So playing as Rhudaur, we got 4 Rhudaur armies versus 2 Cardolan and 2 Arthedain armies. I think. Let me see. Sorry, nope. 3 Rhudaur and 1 Angmar army up against double Cardolan and double Arthedain. So I'm in my element, of course. Got my black wolves at the back, even though it's of course the scenario, so I don't actually select my army. I was still pretty damn chuffed with it. There's very little in the Rhudaur roster that I don't like. I'm not happy to have in my army. Arnorian Rangers there, enslavers, some pikes, berserkers there. I've actually been blessed with 2 berserkers today. I do have my general in one of them. Yes, I've got my general in one of the berserkers, but I do have 2 of them. Arnorian pikes in front of them, some Rhudaur axemen, and then Rhudaur swords with some marksmen up front. Pretty numerous, but solid. And it's a very elite Angmar army that we have. I'd love to say taking part in this, but unfortunately, given the timing of this battle, the Angmar are probably leading us and governing our actions right now. Guardians of Cardolan there, nice and armored up. In front of them, some Scourge Raiders. Then some Witch Realm Pikes, actually not receiving an armor upgrade. Blackguard there, some Witchers. Blackwatch Legion, Hammerguard, and to the far left, some Trolls of Angmar. Some Hidden Orc Fellers, Marauders, and Gundabad Guard 2, with some more Angmar Marauders as well. Actually, okay, not quite as elite as I remember, but yeah, some solid fighters mixing amongst it all, and Trolls of Gundabad to the right side there, with their big old clubs. Then Froggy, he's got his double black wolves, lots of axemen, marksmen there, behind them some clansmen, swordsmen, enslavers, pikes, Dunman pikes, which I don't really have many of, 8 more troll hunters, fraud from jabs. He has our catapult today, controlled by these gobbo friends, and then some berserkers. So I'll probably just call out in the last armor, I'll call out anything that's abnormal, but it's Mr. Sneakman playing this. I'll just sort of be casting my cursor over everything else if you want to see. He actually has a catapult as well. Ah, okay. He's got double Arthedain pikes, lots of Rhudaur swords, and double berserkers. So quite similar armies for the most part. I've definitely got a lot more axe throwers than some people. Positioned in behind Angmar, I think I'm quite nicely kitted out to sort of support him with a bit more of a ranged power, whereas he uses our melee sledgehammer to break through these not so much Northmen. They're not Northmen. They're Arnorians really at this point. Sort of this fragile alliance of Cardolan and Arthedain in the end times. Well, the end times of their kingdom. Kingdoms. Oh yeah, of course. It'll take them a little while to deploy, so we'll just set at 2 times speed. Very fun. Oh yeah, I'll have a look at the map. Why not? Yeah. Got a nice little avenue to approach here with 3 points to attack. Over on the left, it is 1 approach point, but it's much wider. There's also this strange little route we can move in, and we'll see if we end up making use of that. I don't think we can come all the way over, no, but we can get some heightened position from there. And then on the right side, it's very wide and open. Very, very large point to approach there. We can see they put down some stakes to ward us off, and then another much more narrow point to approach up on that side. Let's just go to, we'll go to 0.2 speed for now. Starting with Morris. He's got his 4 Nostarian Defenders. Not a unit that we have access to as standard nowadays, but still available to scenario makers. A Numinous Gate Guard behind them, or mixing amongst them. And good early use of them. Even the Archers along that position. Dismounted 4 Nostarian Knights. Spears. Coming on around here to this position is some Dismounted Knights of Numinous, with the General positioning amongst them. Evandom Spears with their max armor upgrade, so they look just like the defenders, or sorry, the 4 Nostarian Defenders, just a lot less skill and less attack damage from them. Then some Arthedain Pikes and Wardens of the North there, probably just putting down their stakes. They might shuffle around momentarily. Some more Knights, dismounted in their variant, and then some Marksmen there. That is it. Morris seems to be alone over on this flank, facing down Mr. Sneakman. But in the centre, we've got Cad Bane. So he's got his Arthedain Pikes, Men-at-Arms, and some Dismounted Knights. Then Men-at-Arms, they have a fearsome Trebuchet. Just Call Me Volshek is there. He's got his Cardolan forces. Anything too crazy we're seeing? A nice little pike line there with some more Wardens from off the north from Cad Bane. Some Dismounted Knights of Numinous, that's where the General is. I like that the Defenders are nice and active with their elite units. That was one of the sort of requirements, was that they had to defend this outer level for a little bit. They couldn't just sort of immediately fall back to the higher points to give us a good chance to have an initial confrontation with them. Then some more Spears and Footmen from Mevin, the final Defender, over here on this right flank, getting ready to face up against myself and Eclipse. Further up the hill, we've got some Tharbad Warhammers, some Gatekeepers. Men-at-Arms there, and Archers. Some more Men-at-Arms. Up on the top here, we've got some Hearthguard. That's where we've got Mevin's General sat. He can definitely be able to use up his arrow fire. I often find that with my Hearthguard of Amon Sul, it's quite rare that I actually get all of their ammunition used up before they end up getting thrown on into melee, either as part of an attack or they are reached and they have to defend themselves. Sharpshooters, lots of crossbows, and mercenary guildsmen there. Not going to be super useful against our forces, but up against a lot of the Angmar troops, they will certainly get a few kills. That's why we seem to be focused over here on the right flank. So that's what we'll get underway there. There'll be a good bit of shuffling, I suspect, but we do start cracking at one another quite quickly. Some Minheriath archers positioned up here from Mevin, ready to rattle some shots into the approaching Angmar. And that the garrison footmen, biding their time. We'll go to 2 times speed, I think, as we approach. There should be 2 links in the description, or 2 points, timestamps in the description of when we actually clash. If there's not, it means we clash very quickly. But I don't think we've got that today, so there should be 2 points. As I say, with Rhudaur, nothing I really don't like in a scenario. Sometimes it's quite risky to jump into a scenario with a faction you don't really know. I've played every faction, of course. I've got at least a decent ability with every faction, but I definitely there's some units that I would just never touch. And sometimes in a scenario you see half of your army is like, oh god, I actually don't know the capabilities of this unit. So it can be pretty daunting. Over here we have Eclipse, who he's split his army up there. He's going to be coming down this way entirely, whereas I actually kind of split myself in half a little bit. The bulk of my forces are actually going down toward the middle, whereas I do have some supporters off toward Eclipse. We, of course, as always, in great communication and a voice channel with each other, so we can make these little plans quite quickly. We are in the same channel as our opposing sides, though, so it tends to be quite, I want to say subtle. What we say, what we describe to each other. You don't want to give away your exact plans because the enemy's just going to hear it. Orc Feller's leading the way, though, is maybe not the best course of action. The enemy will just shoot you down, but spread out like that, Eclipse might be happy enough. They want to just open up into him. I personally, I'd probably give it a go, But I do have a lot of fear for this sort of low tier shock. I think it's very easy to get your use out of it, especially when you're fighting something like Cardolan. So I think dropping them down sort of quickly and then efficiently like that, or relatively efficiently, is something I like to do. But Eclipse really is right up there, whereas you know, myself and Froggy, we're nowhere near positioned to strike them down. You see over on the far side there, Mr. Sneakman is still biding his... Well, he's just moving up. It's not so much biding his time, he's just moving up. So Eclipse is right on in. But hey, if the Angmar are going to be leading us here, they need to show that they're willing to, you know, have their Orcish and Uric bravery on display. Show why they are the chosen of the Witch King there. And we are just mere subjects. But yeah, Orc fellers getting dropped there. Yeah, as I say, I definitely would. Even spread out like that, I think it's fair enough. Eclipse trying to sort of mingle them in amongst the Angmar marauders, try and benefit from those shields, but it's tricky, you know, when you've got a position that you can shoot down on the enemy from like that. These shields aren't as useful. Well, mixing in amongst with the shields is not useful. I actually don't know what happens if Oh, sorry. That Orc feller looked like with the captain of the Orc fellers looked like he had a different model for a second. He'll actually be armor piercing with that big sword of his. Big cleaver, really. So that's quite nice, because he's part of an armor piercing unit. Ah, that's a shame. You see, these guys were actually... They were about to hide. But Eclipse just gave them an order there. Because once they're hidden, they can't be targeted. If an arrow ends up, you know, jumping into their unit, you know, into an individual model, you know, missing somebody else, then that's fine. It'll hit. But you can't target a hidden unit. So that's what Eclipse is trying to do here, I think. And I think he's maybe not getting them hidden down as quickly as he was wanting, and that's the issue. I've got my Rhudaur marksmen well, they were moving up, and I've got them running up now. Just see if I can do a bit of a counter fire against the Cardolan archers. Give a little bit of support to Angmar. To be honest, these archers could open up into the Blackguard. That would be a bit of a waste of ammunition, though, especially from the front. From behind, I would do it. I would definitely open up to any elite unit, really. If I got a back shot on them, or if they were unshielded, I'd shoot them. Maybe a little bit wasteful, but nah, it's what you gotta do sometimes. Froggy is now pushing up to engage. I'm along with him. We've got a lot of arrow fire here. These Rhudaur marksmen, competent archers. Very fragile, very low armor value. So in a skirmish fight, they're gonna get rinsed, but in all honesty, if they're going to shoot at something, and you know we can just get them shooting into our spread out Rhudaur marksmen, you know that's okay. We're fine with that. Use up their ammunition, stop them from blasting into the rest of our forces, and hopefully we can move up and inflict some casualties back at them. Perhaps not into the Arthedain marksmen. Hopefully something a little bit more juicy will present itself. Arthedain marksmen moving up here too. Looks like Morris is not willing to fire into the likes of the Rhudaur clansmen. He wants to get over there into the Rhudaur marksmen. Must be what he's going for, yeah? But again, spread out. Mr. Seekman's not too fussed about that. And actually, he's wanting to lunge in. He's wanting to grab these guys, chase them away. Nice sort of quick, aggressive display. Armor upgraded too, so, I mean, they can take a beating from the front. It's mainly the shield value keeping them safe, but the armor value is still pretty bad. It's still a pretty bad armor value from the Rhudaur clansmen. They do look a little bit more armored up than they truly are when they receive that armor upgrade. Evident archers over there. Yeah, Morris would be able to really coat Mr. Sneakman's army in fire if he chose to move forward a little bit too aggressively. Over here, Eclipse making his initial moves, led by the trolls, really sort of breaching on through here. Let's grab some stuff just in case I end up actually forgetting, as I often do later on in the fight. Armor upgraded Blackwatch Legion stuck in there. Nice in a fight, not just there for their pushing, but it looks like that's what they're doing today, just busting open the line. Gatekeepers, though, might be going in for them. Our Orcish and Uric friends really taking absolute thrashing here. But, yeah, dealing some great damage. We've got the Trebuchet opening up right into these Angmar Marauders and Orc fellers. Blackwatch Legion would be a nice target, but at least the morale shot would hurt the likes of them a lot more. Trolls of Angmar, one into Cad Bane's Trebuchet. There's a lot of banter back and forth about that damn Trebuchet. We've got our Rhudaur Axemen sprinting on over there. And my Trollshire Axe Swords. Oh, come on. Get on through. Don't know exactly why I stopped. Oh god, I hope I'm not the target of that. But our troll friends, both the trolls of Gundabad and the trolls of Angmar, perhaps a little bit of overkill from Angmar there. Maybe it would have been better just to have a one unit chase them off and the other staying in the fight. Maybe one can jump up and grab those Menhirath archers now, though. How are we doing? Froggy and I engaging here quite nicely. Yeah, taking damage, but as I say, to our archers, it is what it is. That's what they're there for. On the attack sometimes. Rhudaur marksmen, you want to get some use out of them, more than the Dunman hunters. Thieves of Tharbad, yes, that was the thing. I actually managed to catch them with a good few volleys as they popped on up. And you can see, throughout, bit of damage here and there to the lines. Little catapult shot, hitting some Vocek's forces from Froggy. So we are responding. We're doing some good damage. Fornostaran defenders getting surrounded there by Froggy's attack. These overwhelmed and outnumbered initial defenders getting beaten back. Still though, Mr. Stinkman doesn't want to launch into an attack. It's just because of how much damage he would suffer, and he's got no backup over here. Everywhere else in the front line, you know, we're fighting side by side. We're generally able to back up each other's losses. Mr. Stinkman's entirely alone over there, but good stuff from Froggy, worming these Rhudaur swordsmen around the back. And I think they have received an attack order, but they're not really shunting on in, unfortunately. Had this entire unit just collapsed down onto the backs of the the Fornostaran defenders, that could have been lovely. But alas, they are not. Shooting into those Arthedain marksmen now as they pull back. But as Angmar does, it has wiped away the initial defenders there. Really smashed them down. The lower morale Cardolan forces not able to deal with us, but Cardolan, a bit sneaky, grabbing that trebuchet again. Scourge Raiders running over. No, perhaps not. Not moving over to grab him just yet. As Eclipse prepares to strike the second line. And the issue is, Eclipse is ready to strike the second line. We're not even through the first line in the centre, and we've not even really begun the attack. We've only just begun the attack on the right flank, but it doesn't look like Morris is willing to take it, which is a good thing, because, well, a good thing for the defenders. Because if he did take this attack, once we bust through the centre, or, you know, perhaps even Eclipse all the way on that far side could run over to smash them back or stop his escape. Not worth it at all. Gonna have to just take a quick gulp of tea here. Yum, yum, yum. So, Mr. Stinkman engaging up on this slope, though. This is someone that Morris doesn't have to worry about being backstabbed from, because it actually links all the way back to this sort of final line of defense there. So Morris can be pretty safe in just fighting there along this tight choke point. But perhaps his micro. He's lost a bit of micro there, focusing elsewhere. These poor Evandom archers really being a bit outclassed by the Rhudaur swordsmen there. But Morris should catch that momentarily and pull them on back. Who is the centre there? Oops, screwed up the minimap for a second. Cad Bane. Looks like he's going to start trying to pull his forces out there. Greenwood Garrison footmen as well getting out, relying on this sort of more sturdy Arthedain front line to keep us back. Unlike on the left flank, we were really able to snag into the routing force. We're not going to be able to be that effective here in the centre, as the retreat is a little bit more coordinated. Saying that though, the trolls are almost upon them, as are my Rhudaur axemen. The trebuchet once again trying to be grabbed by Campaign. Every time I see them running toward it, I'm just shouting over to Eclipse in voice chat. Because now that we're all through, this could just be devastating if they hurled out a quick ball of fire into our lines. Got my Rhudaur marksman up here. What am I going for? I mean, gatekeepers would be a terrible shot, especially whilst they're all like clambered up there. Very heavily armoured and shielded, but I mean, we need them dead. We do need them dead. So perhaps I'm going for that. Oh, damn. Had I just gotten a little bit further forward, though, I could have gone for the Tharbad Warhammers. But you can see, we are actually clashing with the enemy now. Once again, relying on the Blackwatch Legion and their mass to really push our assault forward. They're just shunting the orcs and even men in front of them into the enemy lines. I'm kind of denying my shot with the axe throwers, though, because we're sort of gaining so much ground so quickly. But they're there. As soon as I see an opportunity, we're gonna hurl some axes into these guys. Tharbad Warhammers, though, should be able to blunt this attack, because we don't really have any super elites to counter that. Just have a quick look at, just in case, as I say, I forget. Black Wolves waiting there. Head in. Not hidden. Bit of an issue. Blackguard pushing on through along with our axes. Trying to sort of get into the back lines here. Want to make sure that Cad Bane is not able to pull these forces back. As we are ahead. No, actually, sorry. No, we're not. They're slightly ahead. But that's not a bad thing as an attacker. You really... It's quite rare that you are ahead at really any point in a battle. Pushing on through now. Managed to bust open a little gap there. I'm just trying to get my guys on in, then I'll flank around and stab them in the back. But it's kind of shaking their entire line here. Froggy getting around the flanks. Froggy getting around both flanks there. I'm surprised at these Evendom spears. They've still got the morale of a militia unit. Even with that sturdy armor, there's still militiamen in there. I think they might have a few chevrons of experience, but they're gonna get battered down. And yeah, maybe I really should have turned around. But I guess I'm just wanting to get stuck into some of these units that are a bit further along the way. Looks like Cad Bane might be able to get those marksmen back. Even if they are... no, they're not out of ammo. Even if they were, better they die later than right now. Gonna have to run them down that center avenue, though, as Mr. Sneakman has snagged this right side. Got a bit of control there. A bit exposed up on that slope there, Morris. So he can't really engage as effectively. But how is the strike really doing here? It's actually going quite in favor of Rhudaur. Even with the Innuminous Gate Guards there, it's a bit tricky. Arthedain Pike's not quite the equal of the Innuminous Gate Guard, but providing that morale bonus to your line is quite effective, and they're not bad. They're pretty damn good, really. One of the few units that I would kind of recommend going into the red limit for sometimes in a siege. You know, it can be quite useful. Even probably not a field battle though. Probably not a field battle. These marksmen almost getting out again. Eclipse showing his aggression here, getting right on through to these lines. But with the likes of the Dunedain Troll Slayers there, it might not end up being worth it if they can get on over. My clansman trying to get on over there. Hopefully going to shield them from a bit of a javelin fire, as the front line has finally shattered. And our wildmen flood on into this mountain stronghold. The last of the Angmar coming on through now too. As I'm splitting up my army once again to sort of back up both sides. Pushing on forward here. It's quite a sturdy position they've got. Those Tharbad Warmers still at 56, not really suffering any casualties, and receiving more and more support. While they have their Menhiriath archers there to back them up. My out of ammunition, Rhudaur marksmen coming on in, just to provide a little bit more mass on this right side, take a few hits for the Blackwatch Legion, and yeah, just sort of tire them down, tire them out and overwhelm them. You can see sort of my guys getting shunted about by the Blackwatch Legion, just sort of pushed into place by these huge Uruks. You know, fair enough, it gets the job done. Gatekeepers moving on in there with their halberds out. That's a good sign. It means their crossbows are done, because nobody's engaged them in melee, so they've got no reason to pull out their halberds before that. The issue here, this is where I start to take a lot of casualties. As I move through this open field, I've got my guys tightly packed up, even with their... Oh, you see, only one volley was given to me there, but you can see just how kind of haphazard I am with this advance, just relying more on getting up here quickly, not really taking into account just how many positions the defenders can still fire on me from as I sort of gather around this area. Pushing on through the front line though, it's only held back by some Greenway Garrison spears, but still if I can break them, stop them from killing my guys here, get them sort of all captured up for later conversion to our cause. Peaceful and very no torture involved. Over here to this flank though, we are getting blasted down again, just luckily by Menhiriath archers. That's a very high value position for them, and perhaps we should be focusing on trying to actually bust on through here, but we're getting some good kills. Even its defeat is certain, it says, but it's not actually that bad a confrontation for us. Especially now the Arthedain pikes are fighting on sort of flat ground. It's going okay, but damn, we're taking some constant damage. At least with my shields, we're okay. It's quite a small unit of Scourge Raiders. able to position themselves there. Oh, okay, they're chanting away. I thought they might be able to get some axes thrown out, but they've probably already done that. Just a few of the men-at-arms making their way around. They're split off from their main line. Go 2v1 up against these Rhudaur marksmen. To be honest, he could probably take the two of them, but can he take the five of them? No, I don't think so. He's going to be a goner there. That could be a pretty cool shout. We'll see if I snap some quick shots and see if something could work. Surrounded there, the poor guy. Oh god, yeah, 4v1. 4v1 might be a bit too much for him. Push on through now. Rhudaur Axemen engaging into the front of the pike line, though, and that's not pretty, especially with Thieves of Tharbad there. Little throwing daggers will rip through my Rhudaur Axemen. Assassins are always sort of really nice in melee, of course, but you know, you've got to make use of those little throwing daggers if you want them to really pay for themselves. Oh, that was interrupted. That was an interrupted throw. But yeah, moving on, let's just have a quick look. See, yeah, I'm still just gathering up there, whereas I really should be packed in along this line. I shouldn't expose myself at all, even my shielded units. I need to keep them heading out. Yeah, my Rhudaur, well, our Rhudaur Axemen. It's not just me falling foul of this, but Cad Bane's just got a great position, great effect with these militia units. Right into my Dunman pikes. You can see just how many losses I took so quickly there. I thought I was safe, but no, I most certainly was not, due to this sort of little steep slide in the ground. Really taking some really bad damage. Over here though, Mr. Sneak Man just sort of holding the line, continuing actually pressuring along here, pursuing the Evandom archers after quite a sudden break in that line. So, as I say, with that, he can push all the way, well, to wherever Morris wants to hold, but he could push all the way to here. And, yeah, and really slam on into the back of this defensive position. It would take him some time. We'd take some losses while he did it, but it could work out. Sometimes, as I say, it's good to be very team-minded in an attack, but sometimes you do have to, as we saw in that, the Dunheim Outpost battle, sometimes you just have to focus on your own attack and think, right, how can I personally kill the most men? And, yeah, it's not always, but sometimes it's for the best. Catapult fire coming on in. Beautiful position up on that hilltop. A few little burns here and there, and it's forcing them back. Actually, a massive rout in some of these cases. Or a big rout, not a massive one. So again, get the momentum going, keep pushing. Make the most of this. Try and catch a few of these guys. We don't want them routing off and hopefully, you know, coming back or something like that. Lord forbid. Also, I want to slam these guys in the back. I want to get into Volshek's forces. Bring them on down. Because we... Whoa! Frogert! Froggy! Oh, jeez, peeps. That was close. But no, he's pulling them back. Yeah, Volshek doesn't like that. I don't like that, in all honesty, Volshek. So, yeah, I'd retreat too. But no, Troll Slayers rattling on in, sharpshooters point blank shots into my back. It's not fun. Not fun at all here. Really brutal little position for my boys to be in. Trying to counterfire there with Froggy's marksmen. I think, you know, we've even tried to throw some stuff up at them, but it's a tricky spot. Very nice little defensive position there. But all the while, I'm focusing so much on that, I'm not really focusing enough on these units that are... I mean, they're hidden, they can't be targeted, we've talked about that, but still, it's scary. I think they've even maybe taken some shots at the likes of my Rhudaur swordsmen, so it's rough, it's rough. Moving my Arthedain Rangers on up. They reveal themselves, they're going to be targeted, but I've got them spread out, and I'm going to run. But there's 77 of them right now. Most Rangers are very lightly armoured, but Arthedain Rangers are even more. Quite wild, even with that Dunedain heritage, or Numenorian heritage. Oh, I'm tightly packed there. 77 from one volley of Evandom archers. That's them down to 56. Now, Rangers, of course, they don't need great numbers to be effective. But it's useful, especially, you know, with Rangers' skill and melee in the later parts of a siege, it can be quite beneficial. Grabbing the last few of these Minotaur Roman Guardians, or Gatekeepers there as they fall back. Guardians of Cardolan about to reach the main line here of Volshek as he's set up. Guildsmen ready to crack through that sturdy black plate. of the Gardens of Cardolan. Say one of the best sort of units for them to be fighting here, so it's good that that Mevin's been able to bring them on over to clash with them. Perhaps, I don't know if that was something we were paying too much attention to. And the halberd line of the gatekeepers, okay, looks like they don't want any piece of this. We do have witchers, you got to keep in mind, so they don't want to pack the line too dense. If they have too many boys in one place, you know, that's just asking for the witchers. Pushed on down. Engaging my axe throwers there with his troll slayers, not willing to just remain behind the defensive positions. If they see a nice charge target, they're going to take it. But as my axe throwers are holding out there, I've got a nice little chance to rattle into these troll slayers with my axes. Quite lightly armored, nice little target there. And again, the Arnorian Berserkers is a unit that I don't often actually use up all the ammunition for. Okay, that one was fine. That one was good. That one was good. But still, a few of us getting burned up. I think, unfortunately, a handful of the Hammer Guard getting burned up there from Froggy's capital. So he stopped there. I think he's going to try and get a little bit closer for the next shot. It's such a nice position, but if it was a trebuchet, oh, chef's kiss, totally. I don't like saying chef's kiss, it's weird. Nah. I tried it first time, not for me, not going to say it again. Blackwold's there. Yeah, breaking these guys down. It's kind of weird to see this sort of sturdy axe unit versus another sturdy axe unit, both quite lightly armored, really just sort of cleaving each other apart. I think overall Cad Bane will be pretty happy with that because it means that his allies can get some shots in the back of the Blackwolds. The Witchron Blackguard are about, though. Some guildsmen standing in our way. As we finally break through this line. The Lochmoral Thieves of Tharbad are not going to go anywhere for a little while, though. We get into 19,000 frames. Pushing on over here. Still, Sneak Man, just watching out. Keeping his eyes on these guys. Taking a bit of fire there. Not really wanting, as I say, he's alone. So if he comes clashing on in, it just means that Morris is going to be able to focus focus more on the rest of us after he wipes him out. See, mine slavers could be closer. I'm tempting fate here. They could shoot me. A few of these guys could shoot me right now if they wanted to. My marksman here, almost out of ammo. Not really a great target for them right now, so just wanting to be prepared to ward some stuff off. 45 rangers actually managed to make it into position out of 77. And that was just Emendham Archer fire that was ripping me apart. Froggy's pushing up here. I've got my Arnorian Berserkers just chasing these guildsmen away. I was more than happy to fight the guildsmen with the Berserkers. That would have been a fine target for me. Hearthguard opening up on me. So many positions just that we're getting kebabbed from by this archer fire. Pincushion would probably be a better term. Guildsmen actually getting around our position there. I wish you could... Doesn't come through too clearly there zooming in on the mini-map, but yeah, we are entirely surrounded there, and we've sort of lost the strike there. We used up a good bit of ammo. Killed off a good few of them, and more Guardians are approaching now. Guardians of Cardolan there. And it seems to be entirely Eclipse at this point. I've used up everything. Nope, got some Rhudaur Axemen coming on over. But that'll be that. What's hidden? No, that's just them running through. Yeah, they are moving. But can't see it too clearly on the minimap. What's some marksmen there broken, hiding on that hilltop. Just having a look at what I've got left at this point. I do tend to be one of the first armies that's wiped out in an attack. I tend to be quite aggressive. But it's a lot of responsibility being the last guy. And, you know, you can get scared sometimes. So I prefer to be one of the first guys in there fighting. Emendham Spears taking a bit of damage here from the Javs. Might have been an accident. But hey, just whittling down some of the numbers not a bad idea. But I just feel... we could get some swordsmen up there. Those Rhudaur swordsmen should be able to win. It would be a long fight. It should be a victorious one. As Mr. Sneakman gets a little bit closer. Maybe he's trying to get a long shot of a jav. Real javelin and a half going on up against those guys. Over here, we are now, yeah, really pushing it a bit harder. Froggy's swordsmen alongside my my Arthedain Berserkers. And even backed up by a few Rhudaur marksmen too. Just trying to breach through this position, requiring a bit more support from their forces. so they can't really back everything up here. Oh, some green fire, so you can see the Witchers have been thrown on in. Burned down a few of these guys. Oh, a lot of blood splatters there from the Thieves of Tharbad. But up against the sturdy armor, you know, like axes, those throwing daggers don't do an armor-piercing strike. So, you know, the likes of the Black Watch Legion can shrug off that damage, or a good portion of that damage. Still hurts, not great, but it's better them than me, pretty much. Better them than my Black Wolves. And all the way through the line, we're doing not too bad. Witcher's being pulled back there now. Probably going to get shot up by something if there is an archer around, but no, I don't think they've got him. Thieves? No, that's out of range. No. Maybe they were going for them, but they fell out of range. Could have been. But the Witchers are coming around here now. As we continue to sort of clash away. Berserkers are going to break these guys down. I mean, Guildsmen and Sharpshooters is, you know, that's so much AP mace power, which Rhudaur is just not really going to be too worried about. You know, yes, it's going to hurt, but it's not as frightening as it is when you've got a unit that really relies on their armor. Enslavers moving on up, nice and exposed. 63 of them. But no, we're not seeing it just yet. Not seeing anything that can rinse me. Wardens of the North, there they are. I was wondering where these guys were. They might have my number in a moment. My poor old enslavers. Yeah, you can see they're switching around. I think he spotted them. He's going to be moving on over to try and target me. Unshielded, heavily armored enslavers. Steel bow wielding Wardens of the North. Dearie me, it's a very frightening mixture. But Rangers coming on over here. Not actually used up much ammo with these guys, so I need to start, you know, trying to find a target for them. And these thieves here, pretty sure it's the thieves that I go for. Yep. Pretty tightly packed there. So I start trying to rinse through them a bit with my Rangers. Very useful in melee, very lightly armoured, as most assassins are. I mean, Scourge Raiders, they are sort of assassin-type units, so they kind of break that mold, especially when you give them the armour upgrade. But Thieves, even though I'm getting a lot of misses there, doing a good bit of damage, so I was happy enough with that. Wanted to just try and do what I could with these guys. Enslavers positioning themselves there, but you can see Wardens of the North. Once again, I need to be lined up right next to this slope. But it's such a beautiful little, you know, eye line down with that sort of curved wall, or curved rock face. It hurts, so it's either use them or lose them, really. But I've got to get my guys in, or at least got to be positioning them better. I think I go over here, but then even then I think I can get shot at. Really was a death trap. But Guildsmen starting to suffer a bit more now. Berserkers still beating them down. But would have loved to have really broken through here by now. Not so much that we could start like slamming around in melee, but it means we can use this area for our ranged units. Get some crossbows spent. Well, some javelins thrown out from here, there, and everywhere. Pushing through with the Rhudaur Axemen now. Jumping on through those lines. Black Watch Legion being pulled back. Ooh, quick little back shot on them as they fall back though. That's not fun. Scourge Raiders trying to get through their ammunition, as are my axe throwers too. But we're busting them down. Again, defeat is a distinct possibility for us, but we're not suffering too badly in melee. All the way through this, it's been when we can have one of these nice melee fights. I mean, that's the way it is for most siege attacks, but when we can have one of these nice melee attacks, we're generally doing pretty damn well. It's just when the enemy can start rattling some shots into us. That's the worry. Froggy's coming over to support us here. Dinman Pike's getting in pretty healthy. They took one damn good volley before they got there, though, unfortunately, from the Hearthguard up top. Good, accurate fire from that elite bowman. I say, very good for their morale buffing effects, but they're sturdy bows at the end of the day. Looks like I am safe there, but pretty bloodied up and down to 61. Arthedain Rangers climbing up here too. Don't know what I've got as a possible target. I might just be trying to hide and keep myself safe from any fire. But we are through now. Flashing on in here, my swordsmen and my berserkers, engaging Cad Bane's men there. And it kind of is, Volshek can maybe get some archers here, shoot me in the back, or, you know, engage me in behind, and I'll try to smash him with a side charge with some reinforcements. It doesn't look like they're doing that. Interesting. I'm kind of lucky there that they've not tried to strike me like that. He is certain, it seems, for my boys. I guess up against those incredibly well armoured Arthedain men-at-arms. Okay, it's a bit better now, as the Berserkers are really around the flank and they're starting to really beat them down. What about Mr. Sneakman? Engaging up on this this hilltop now, continuing to slowly make gains. Slow and careful gains from Bishop today. As he waits for an opportunity. Continuing, like, Morris has got all of his troops. He needs to keep everything over here staring down Bishop. He can't just send them on over. Froggy's got some Prodrum Jazz, Berserkers, and Slavers. As they move on up, though, okay, good. Even the Marcher's out of ammunition. That's just a lot of trash now for the enemy to send our way or not. But this one unit, this is just sort of one beefy unit of Arthedain men-at-arms that's keeping us in check here. Says victory is certain, but don't quite think so. Oh, damn, sorry, I missed this, guys. Sorry about this. We got a good burn there with the Witchers, and it sparked a big old rout. And as we were breaking through there at the same time, they've decided to no longer reinforce that. Let me just take a cup of tea. So, falling back to this point now, but as always, during an attack, this is when you inflict some good casualties. Trying to push on through. They've sent in the guildsmen. Might have been a misclick from Mevin. We're crashing on through them now. Again, enslavers revealing themselves, thinking that the enemy must be out of ammunition. But those wardens are still present. Those wardens still have those steel bows out. Very angered. The enslavers, of course, one of the main reasons for some of the first to turn to the Witch King of Angmar's side. Warns of the North more than happy to bring them down first rather than any other men of Rhudaur. Witcher's getting on around, and Pike's perhaps not the best unit to sort of chase them down. And whenever the Pikes do focus in on them, we're able to sort of slam them in the back. Something of that nature. Cadbane has managed to push around the flank there. And he's going to be able to do some good work. But my Berserkers are through, wanting to stop him. As he gets a nice little charge in there. A little bit disorganized. The high morale of Rhudaur should keep me in check for, you know, keep this line going. A lot of Dunedain Troll Slayers. That's a lot of Troll Slayers. So I don't really want to just throw my Berserkers right on in there. Let's get this ammunition used up. So, once again, Troll Slayers, my target for my throwing axes. Getting a few of them in, but he sees that. He wants to just really get stuck forward. Not too bad for me, though. Still inflicting some good damage. So he tries to pull on away. Kind of shattered that position, but at least I've got my Berserkers ready to go. I think I saw some arrows their way. No. Don't think so, I'm wondering where my Rangers are right now. Ah, there they are. Got my Rangers positioned on over here. Ooh, what would be a nice target? Really, just anything at this point. You want something a bit bundled up. You want something preferably lighter armored. Which Cardolan is not gonna give me too much of that. Let's see. Might just go for the Hearthguard, in all honesty. Oh, wait, no, what we go for? Okay, finding something. Ah, captains. Ah, good stuff. Yeah, captains. Thumbs up, like that. Just tear right through the captains. Yeah, I mean, they're nicely armored. I'm not going to do much damage to them, but if I can guarantee like 4 or 5 of them are getting hit, you know, which, yeah, good few of them are getting hit by every arrow, that's a worthy shot for me. They are moving away from it, so I'll stop that shortly. Got to take what you can get as an attacker with Rangers. I don't usually take Rangers on the attack. It can be very effective sometimes, but no, it's just a bit high risk. I'm excited to see the changes of the Rangers, you know, turning them into just being very high damage archers, removing their body piercing. I think I'll be making use of Rangers so much more after that, for sure. If they become sort of more this like just high damage archer, just popping them around. I think they're hopefully getting a little bit of a melee buff too to help them out. So I think they'll be a guarantee in a siege then. Probably very fragile to range, but throwing them on into melee, take on most, well, you know, a portion of enemy units too. Mr. Seatman has unfortunately had his units squashed on that hilltop though. So he has now just got what remains in that valley. Over here. This is the main attack now, though. There's nowhere else that we're really able to strike. And pushing up into the warrens of Tir Gorthad. A few more archers still with their little bows. Gatekeepers too. That halberd line is not going to be fun, and the armor piercing from the guildsmen. Mainly, it's a lot of Rhudaur forces, but there are blackguard there that rely on their armor. Skirt raiders coming on up, still with their armor, still with their axes, ammunition to spend. Rodram jabs from Froggy, enslavers from Froggy too, and he's got his general over there. Berserkers and Mind Slavers breaking these guys down, but Troll Slayers, they've emerged, and they've got my enslavers in their sights. Once again, Cad Bane punishing me with range power. I don't know if I... Yeah, what I'd want to do here is push... I think, see, so I run everybody. What I should have maybe done there is just run my enslavers away and actually charged with my berserkers. Because there's nothing else around. Yeah, I'm sure he'll just run away, but keeps my enslavers a bit more safe, and yeah, that would have been a better shout. But I think I just felt we needed everything together here. This is where we're going to be breaking. You see, there's sort of even a little gap. We could maybe just rush on through there. Just spread this attack out as much as possible. Over there, Hearthguard of Amon Sul got their spears out. They might have just been in melee for a little minute. God, they're gorgeous. I really love the Hearthguards unit. Love their helmets. It's sort of simple, but really solid there. And that spear, you know, again, sort of simple design, but just really, really solid looking. It's cool. Rodram jabs coming on in there. Absolute monsters in melee. Well, as long as you don't get them shot at. Real monsters in melee after they've used up their jabs. Froggy's going to try and find his best position here. If he can just get some jabs used up. But Rangers have emerged. We'll go check. Captains are moving on back after being a little bit bloodied by my Rangers. Still near enough full numbers, though. Have them archers over here. Opening up into this approach. Four berserkers there taking a bit of fire. Rocks hurtling on in. Breaking through the enemy line a little bit. With those unlit stones. Wardens opening up into the Arthedain berserkers. I'm happy enough with that, I think. Although you want to go into a heavily armored unit, preferably an unshielded unit. I think the berserkers are just so useful in melee for an attacker, for anybody. I think it's worth it. Troll Slayers up on that roof, well, up on that cliff top there too. Like Morris, because Morris hasn't been really getting pressured, he's got all of his ammunition. He can really just be bold with it. Cad Bane coming on down here. Now that I've, of course, clashed in most of my units into the main line there, he can be very free to run around and perhaps even engage this catapult unit if that is what he chooses to do. Or maybe he can come into Froggy and strike him there. Goodness me, absolutely thread the needle with those misses. Absolutely thread the needle. We were punished by Froggy's catapult. It was so unlucky. It happens sometimes. I mean, you just get a catapult crew that is really just phoning it in for the day. But holy smokes, they let us down big time. But yeah, it is what it is. All you need is one glorious strike, which we didn't quite get there. We didn't quite get. How are my Rangers doing? I don't think struggling to find anything. Oh, they're out. I think I might have a shot or two left, but the vast majority of them are out. Froggy's got some marksmen there. Might be on just fire at will. Wait, no. They're going for the Troll Slayers. Nice, okay. Yeah, I say this a lot. Do say this a lot. I love the Rangers. I love the Arnorian Rangers. That's maybe okay. I could roll this up. Right. Got some Rangers tucked down. Got the smoky thing in the distance. Smoky thing? Chimney. Ryan, it's a chimney. We might go for something like that. Skirt raiders. Yeah, we got what chimney is. Rangers ripping through our lines though, with great effect. Again, yeah. People like buildings. Ooh, we'll go. Taking way too many screenshots. We'll see. I'll have something gold. I'll have a gold one in there somewhere. Gotta be. That's how it works. The more you take, the better you get. Axeman clashing on in now. Yeah, he's got to, you know. It's his only really chance now. We were hoping that Morris would just have to pull something else off and Bishop could just bash through the lines, but just wasn't meant to be today. So he's got to just slam himself in now up against this really quite sturdy front line. Perhaps you know, sending some troops around toward us and just kind of just staring down, but Morris could have been a good shout. But it's this wide front line. What, you know, we'll talk about. Yeah. At the end is when I'll talk strategy. I'll talk tactics. Try not to do it too much during a battle. But breaking on through toward the gatekeepers now. Still ammunition on those rangers. Captain's just slicing through the right side there. Blackwolves not really able to deal with. Oops, sorry. Oh damn, that would have been a bad one. Bashed my mic pretty hard. Blackwolves not really able to deal with Arthedain captains. Yeah, that sort of skilled swordsman slicing on through you is pretty unpleasant toward this this just the most wild of wild men with his big stone axe. Hearthguard coming on around now, just providing some morale buffers to all of these guys. Hearthguard buffing oh no, it's different armies, but Hearthguard buffing Hearthguard would be pretty fearsome. Then here we have archers over here. Yeah, just continuing to strike on into us. Just really punishing us. Wars of the North from Morris. Not really finding a good striking target yet. And Mr. Seaman's just hurling himself on in. This flat ground not really giving him a good chance to hurtle some axes or anything on him. And Morris has got another unit of rangers there. Just ripping through Bishop's back lines there. Very rough. Some Blackwolves, Froggy's Blackwolves, making their way around to slice on through. Again, another Blackwold versus Trollslayer fight. We've had that quite a few times in this battle. But again, Arthedain Trollslayers will come out victorious from that. Just a bit more defensive skill. You know, although you know, Blackwolves really just survive on that 2 hit points. Don't have much defense. Well, they got, in comparison to most other Rhudaur units, they do have some defensive skill, but not a lot. Whereas the Arthedain Trollslayers are quite skilled rangers of the north, and they can keep these wildmen in check without too much problem. All the while, yeah, Mr. Sneakman's attack is pretty blunted. Catapult there just not really able to find a good striking target. You could go for something like this, but yeah, he'll look around, try and find something. Over here, the enslavers have been grabbed by a lot of Cad Bane's forces, just trying to hold them back. We're trying to send our rangers on in here too. Actually, defeat is certain for those Eminem archers. Very nice, very outnumbered rangers, but we'll do what we can. Getting a good few kills there. I think they've gone up some experience points, so we'll do all right. Try and just keep Froggy a bit safer, keep these guys in check, but we'll kill what we can. We'll kill what we can. I think the main attack has unfortunately buckled. Got the trolls running through the lines. Got a nice sort of elite push on the right flank there from the Angmar, the Uruks, providing our last real momentum to the center. But a lot of Hearthguard, Wardens to the north, even in melee, these guys could probably put a stopper on that charge. So it's not really going to get through. But down here, still got a bit of action as we deal with Cad Bane's final elites. He was very mobile with his Trollslayers. I did like it an awful lot. They were running around here, there, and everywhere in this battle. It was cool that the Cardolan forces just provided that really sturdy front line that we had to clash into, but then Cad Bane was just able to sprint around and yeah, just do some damage here, there, and everywhere, which was nice. Really kept us on our toes, and I was really chuffed with my Rangers. Like, they were really outnumbered by these guys. I know it's a very big power disparity, but I was pretty happy with them. You know, dropping a lot of these militia archers, as many as they could, and but more and more coming. And the men-at-arms might be another step above. They might not be able to get through that armor with their swords, and yeah, a bit more attack skill, a bit more defensive skills. So that's gonna be too much for our guys. But we'll do what we can. Range of the North firing on in. Continue to sort of break us on down. So, all right, we'll probably start talking now. I won't comment too much on what's going on. I'll just sort of show the action shots. We definitely should have, instead of crashing on in there, we really should have come around here. That was a big sort of mistake for us. I think had we just said, all right, you know what, boys, you can have the west, you can have the left, and we could have just gathered everything we had, pushed through, and just come sprinting on down here. Now, the issue is they're probably going to shoot us, weren't they? No, well, yeah, they might have. Yeah, true. But still, you know, let me run with this idea. We could have come down here and they just backed up Mr. Sneakman. He could have slammed on in there in the same way that he did, but we would have showed up behind Morris. Morris might have gotten a bit shaky. He might have tried to retreat. Mr. Sneakman could have plowed on through. Yeah. Maybe that could have been what it took. I think. Oh, good stuff. Once again, that could have been a nicer shot there, Catapult Crew. Come on, boys. Oh, no. Catapult Crew really sucked today. I'm sorry. Like, Froggy was actually landing, like, he was picking some great targets, but every single time I was just like, come on, dude. You guys should have hit something there. But, yeah, I think, I talked about in the Dead Marshes fight, where the Runic player got a little bit too, you know, the momentum took over, and he just felt he needed to keep striking, keep attacking. And when you're playing as Rhudaur and Angmar, that's even more, because you're so driven by that momentum. Yeah, and again, doing some good work. Friendly fire strike. Both. They Catapult Crew. They were just so bad. But yeah, so because you're so like driven by that momentum, you need it. There we go. Good work. Thanks, Catapult Crew. It's so easy to get suckered in by it, and we definitely did, whereas we should have maybe just stopped, especially because thumbs up, especially because of how, you know, much communication we can have with each other, all being in voice chat. We should have just said, hey guys, let's stop, let's think about this, and maybe come over there or struck somewhere else. I think coming up here was the final death of us. I think we'd already made some good mistakes before that, and I mean, all in all, it was close. Like this, for me, I would still, you know, 20% is generally my limit. I think 10% is a close battle. That's like a really quite close battle. I think 20% though is still a good battle, so I'm all right with that. But as I say, we did feel maybe the defenders had you know, too many rangers or just sort of too many ranged units full stop. I just think it was a bit tricky for us. But Eclipse did touch it up, and you know, we'll have a look at the changes that were made in Umad's the battle on Umad's channel that was taken a little bit after this. So which ended being a lot closer. I won't spoil it as to who won, but still really fun. Amazing map, really punishing map, and I think the defenders were really clever. Had it not been such a sort of clever team of defenders, then yeah, you could fall apart here. If you don't know how to use a map like this, then totally, because it's a bit of a maze, and you can see, you know, a lot of newer players would get lost. They'd run up the wrong way. They wouldn't, you know, it would be, you know, they wouldn't run away at the right time. Yeah, it'd be very easy to have an attack, have a defense fall apart. And had our, you know, we did keep our momentum going, of course, and that could have been very punishing had the defenders made some mistakes. But because they were careful, because they were very cool about it, they didn't really make as many mistakes as we needed them to. Got the great catapult of Mr. Sneakman trying to bolt away here and make a last stand somewhere. But all in all, certainly not so bad. Oh wow, was that Magin? I didn't realise I was still fighting. I thought I was a goner. I guess my boys. Where am I? No, surely not. No, that's Mr. Sneakman's berserkers. I was sure I was dead. I guess I still have my general around somewhere. And he was just fighting it out. Fair enough. Cool. Well done him. But yeah, I mean, we get 83 is not so. But yeah, so a few things tactically, like strategically, I guess we could have done differently for sure. But it was a tough scrap for us, and I think we definitely gave it our all. Loved Cad Bane's playstyle. It was annoying as hell, but it was nice that he kept running around, kept making use of these fast units, and because we didn't have any cav to like punish him for that, I liked that. I was quite glad that we didn't have any cav because it made it so that he could do that, and we could do that to them too. We did muck about a bit, and we did sort of slam them around. I think cav on a map like this could have been very traumatizing. So we'll have both for both sides really. So I can't actually say which one I am. Not really sure, but we'll just have a look through and see if there's any like kills that do jump out. 109 from that catapult there. Oh, I'll be the one without the catapult, of course. Enslavers, nice. And what's this doing? That? Oh, yeah, Arthedain pikes will always do some super jobs. Captain Andrew, nice and simple. But yeah, berserkers again. Enslavers there over 200, good. Yeah. Ooh. Let's have a we'll have a look at sort of friendly fire as we cast our eyes down. See how much that catapult did. Arnorian there, racking up some decent kills. Yeah, so my rangers did okay. They lost a lot of experience just because it's tough to sort of maintain that. But no, I was happy enough with what they did. I think over 200 kills as an attacking ranger is okay. You'd want like 300 or something, but yeah, that's fine. And a lot of it was just slicing up those guys in melee at the end, in all honesty too, which that was just a gift for me. But no, okay, I guess friendly fire strikes we didn't really suffer. Oh, 11 enslavers though is pretty painful, but all in all, not so bad. A lot of prisoners. We grabbed so many prisoners as they were routing, but no. So that was, we were chuffed to bits with all that. But good play from everybody. I say, really fun one. Thank you guys very much, and I'll see you later.